Just fight my graphics for the last 7 or so minutes. Why? Don't ask me. I have no idea. Don't know. I went into settings, went from portrait to landscape play. That not necessarily supposed to do, but is better to do. And for the first time, my computer decided to have a little hissy fit. We're okay now. We're live. I think we're live. It says we're live. So I tagged a particular person in here because I told her that I wanted something, and she showed me something. And I don't know if this is the exact one that she showed me in her broadcast, but it's pretty daggone close. So if she comes in, I'll show her. But if not, because I've already seen it. I'm going to see if there's anything significant that happened in the aviation world. It's been out of the loop, so to speak, today. Those of you who missed it yesterday, the platform itself did a broadcast, more of a marathon broadcast. It was 6 hours long, and we had people join from all over the world, all different walks of life. Met some wonderful broadcasters yesterday. Yesterday was fun, so shout out to the HAPS team for having me on at the latter portions of the broadcast. That was a lot of fun. Hopefully, we can do more in the future. Very thirsty tonight. The story's getting old, but it keeps happening all the time. Keeps happening. Where an American Airlines flight had to divert after women hurl racist insults and spit on passenger. So that happened yesterday. Notice another story that happened yesterday as well. This time, literally. It says the anti-masker who punched a Delta Airlines flight attendant in the face has been slapped with a $27,500 fine by the Federal Aviation Administration. He accused the passenger of crew member interference and assault. Those are both felonies, by the way, if you don't know that. The proposed civil penalty is separate from possible criminal sanctions that carry a maximum sentence of 20 years and a $250,000 fine. It says the passenger was caught on video by the fellow passengers striking out at the flight attendant on Delta Airlines flight 1997 from Miami to Atlanta. It says the passenger had become embroiled with a row with the crew after her seatmate and travel companion was asked to put on his face mask. Isn't that sad? If you guys don't want to listen, you guys don't have to listen, but don't put yourself in a position where you are forced to listen to somebody of authority, because then it becomes on you, and solely to you. Just looking at some of the aviation stuff. So there's a story uh, going around, apparently from Flying Magazine. If you guys don't follow or subscribe to Flying Magazine, that's a wonderful, wonderful magazine. If you're interested in aviation, uh, and it talks about aviation all across the board, anything from us little guys to the big birds, airlines and airline pilots. And apparently, the DOJ, or the Department of Justice, fines United Airlines $49 million for mail fraud. We'll say that again, folks. $49 million. It says mail delivery fraud. It says according to the non-prosecution agreement and civil settlement agreement, United Airlines entered into international commerce error for ICAIR contracts with United States Postal Service (USPS), meaning United Transport U.S. mail internationally on behalf of USPS. United was obligated to provide barcode scans of mail receptacles to USPS when United took possession of mail and when United delivered the mail to intended recipients on board. Abroad. United was entitled to full payment only if accurate mail scans were provided and mail was delivered in a timely fashion. So it says, however, between 2012 and 2015, United engaged in a scheme to defraud USPS by submitting false delivery scan data to make it appear that United was complying with ICAIR requirements, or when in fact the airline wasn't. United submitted automated delivery scans that didn't correspond with the actual movement of mail. Is that not something you sit there and you're tracking a package and sits there and says, "Oh, I was shipped," and sit there and wonder why you get in a month later? Might have something to do with it, folks. Because the scans weren't connected to the actual delivery of mail, United was overpaid. The airline secured millions of dollars in payments from USPS that it wasn't entitled to. United also admitted that it had concealed problems relating to scanning and mail movements that would have subjected United to financial penalties under the contracts. Microphone's kind of fighting me here tonight. Here we go. Certain individuals at United works to conceal the United's automation efforts from USPS, knowing the data transmitted was fabricated. Among other things, these people tried to hide the automation practices by reversing falsified delivery times to make the automated scan seem less suspicious. Oh boy, it means a lot of people are involved. So they're going to settle this case. United entered into a non prosecution agreement, or NPA, is what they call it, and has agreed to pay $17,271,415 in criminal penalties. If I could talk right tonight. In disgorgement to resolve the criminal investigation into the fraud scheme. $32,186,687 are part of a False Claims Act settlement for related conduct. United has also agreed to report any evidence or allegation of a violation of U.S. fraud laws and to strengthen its compliance program, especially when with reporting requirements. As Acting Assistant Attorney General Nicholas McQuaid of the Justice Department's Criminal Division describes this. And he says, end quote, he says, United was entrusted by the U.S. Postal Service with fulfilling a critical government function, the transportation of the U.S. mail abroad. Instead of performing this duty with transparency, United defrauded the U.S. Postal Service by providing falsified parcel delivery information over a period of years and accepting millions of dollars of payments to which the company was not entitled. Today's resolution emphasizes that the companies that defraud the government, no matter the context, contract, or federal program, will be held accountable. That's in quote. It goes on a little bit. So I was hoping a certain person would come on in. I don't think she really knew that I even invited her. But that's okay. So here's a debatable topic. I don't really tend to think it's debatable, but a lot of you tend to think that it's a debatable topic. Here's an excellent story that I'm coming across. All right. So travelupdate.com posted 12 hours ago. Again, by Flying My Egg. And it asks this question. So those of you who are watching, go ahead and comment because I want to know this. All right, here's your question for tonight. Is a job title steward and stewardess, flight attendant, or cabin crew? So when it comes to people working with passengers on an aircraft, the terminology has evolved over the years. I know a whole bunch of people that still call them stewardess and stewards. A whole bunch of people. From the original stewards and stewardess, things morphed into flight attendants and then cabin crew. What is interesting is that the terms are currently used. It just depends on which part of the world you're in. Let's have a look at the the definitions and terms to see which is most. I'm getting advertisements. You're going to see which ones are most accurate. So they're saying it depends on what part of the world you're living in. I didn't even know that either. Stewards and stewardess. Steward is defined as, in quote, a person employed to look after passengers on a ship, aircraft, or train. Ship stewards had been around for years before they appeared in the sky. For that matter, ship stewardess had as well. It says stewards and stewardess served on the ocean liners such as Titanic, seen here in Queenstown. And they provide a picture of it. Stewardess, by the way, is defined as a woman employed to look after the passengers on a ship or an aircraft. Trains don't have stewardesses, it seems. One famous pre-flight stewardess is Violet Joseph, who managed to survive the sinking of both Titanic and her sister ship, Britannic. Wow. That's something. It said flight attendants and cabin crew. Flight attendant is a steward or stewardess on an aircraft. A cabin crew is defined as the members of an aircraft crew who attend to passengers. These are virtually identical. Now we have the dictionary definitions down pat. However, ask any person working in the sky serving passengers what their role actually is, and they probably won't mention serving people food and drinks. Okay, so serving food and drinks is actually a byproduct of that job. For those of you who don't know or may not realize that. Okay, they don't have to entertain you, even feeding you. There's exceptions to that rule, obviously for very specific reasons, folks. But they're there for your safety, first and foremost. They're there to be listened to, right? It says ESAA and FAA definitions. The European Union Aviation Safety Agency defines a cabin crew member as, in quote, an appropriately qualified crew member other than a flight crew or technical crew member who is assigned by an operator to perform the duties related to the safety of the passengers in flight during operations, quote unquote. This is why cabin crew will tell you their main role is the safety for the passengers, just like I just did. However, safety is not explicitly mentioned in the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration defines the flight attendant as an individual who works in the cabin of an aircraft that has 20 or more seats and is used by Part 121 or Part 135. This is types of flights, by the way. Air carrier to provide air transport. While not mentioned, safety is, of course, the main part of the rule. Colloquial claims for cabin crew. There's quite a large number of slang names for flight attendants, with trolley dolly. I don't know if you guys heard that. That's a slang term. Being perhaps the most common and least offensive. Others include hostie, galley slave, bunchunker, coffee junkie, bricky techie, galley rat, space waitress, bubblegum scrapper, and latrine queen. You guys don't know what a latrine is? It's military slang for bathroom or restroom. See, I'm even learning something here tonight too. Quite something, huh? Some are region specific, such as the crack troops, biscuit chucker, and Raggin' Dragon in Australia. There's a word that they have here that I can't even pronounce, but I guess it's a name that well known in Germany, I guess, and which means juice pusher. So trolley tubbies and sandwich mechanics in the 1970s in the UK. Inter-airline rivalry is also present, with the British Airways crew apparently referring to their Virgin Atlantic counterparts as strawberry tarts, earning them the moniker Rottweilers in return. No doubt that many of these names are given by pilots to their counterparts working with the passengers. There are quite a few more that are much more offensive, so we'll stop there. I wouldn't recommend using any of the above, especially in flight, as your next drink might be spiked with something special in return. Yeah, maybe. So the article goes on with what they call overall thoughts. The people serving the passengers on board often get a raw deal, being seen by some as essentially servants. In actual fact, they are highly trained professionals who will save you in an event of an emergency. And that's right. That's what they're there for, to guide you because something has gone wrong. You need that guidance. If you don't have it, you're lost. You're just a lost puppy. There are countless tales of stewards, stewardess, flight attendants, and cabin crew saving lives when things go pear-shaped. So never take them for granted. Some have even given their lives in line of duty, such as Gene Harrison of BOAC and Nihara Banyat of Pan Am, to name but a few. I apologize if I butchered these names, but you guys can look them up. They're names that can be Googled. So it goes on to ask what people actually call. You guys want to go to Costa Rica for $11,000 round trip? Yeah, that's a thing. By the way, they're dismantling the. If you guys remember TWA 800, they're dismantling the wreckage when when the NTSB tried to figure out what happened with TWA 800 years ago. They'd reconstruct the aircraft once they brought it up from the bottom of the ocean, and it's been stowed in a hangar. In fact, there's a picture of the portion of the fuselage. They're actually dismantling that because I think the contract of that is running out to hold it still in that hangar. There's a traveler who won $300,000 at the Las Vegas airport. And that doesn't happen every day, especially in an airport. Airport don't want to give away money, even if it has a casino or slot machines. Why would it give away money? They ask you for more money. That's what they do. So the woman actually hit the Wheel of Fortune jackpot worth $300,000 while waiting at a Las Vegas airport. And there was a picture. There's a tweet embedded into the article that I guess McCarran Airport, which is Las Vegas Airport, tweeted that. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. If you guys are flying or know anybody that's going to be flying to LAX, going to be notice something. You might notice something. You might not. It may not affect you. You might not even care. If you're a pilot and you fly into LAX, yeah, you have to notice it. You're gonna care. So the one of the arrival runways. There's 4 runways in total, and 2 of them are usually used for arrivals. One on the north side and one on the south side. So it says LAX arrival runway to temporary close for a $17.3 million renovation. See exactly what it's talking about here. Sorry, y'all. Well, that's a video, so we're not going to play that video because we're not supposed to do that while we're live on YouTube. We're also live on YouTube, by the way. So apparently there was a man a few days ago that he accidentally discharged his pepper spray, his mace, on board an aircraft. See what happened here. This happened on United Airlines 1061 from Fort Myers, Florida. It was still taxiing for takeoff at the time. So passengers were left coughing and sputtering in a recent United Airlines flight to Newark after a man accidentally discharged pepper spray upon flight. They were able to quickly get off the plane once it returned to the gate. So I'm sure somebody's getting fired because you're not supposed to have it in your carry-on. There's a few airlines that'll let you, but that doesn't mean TSA will, and vice versa. So that's something. That is something. All right. Well, there's nobody here right now, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna on Haps on down. I might be back on later. I don't know. You all have a good night, and I will take care, or you guys take care rather.